Sheldon Primus.
Welcome to the Safety Consultant Show with Sheldon Primus, where we blend safety smarts with business brilliance and a pinch of Sheldon's signature wit. Whether you're a safety pro, a fresh-faced consultant, or just safety curious, get ready for a show that'll educate, entertain, and elevate your safety game. Let's dive into the art of consulting with your safety Sherpa himself, Sheldon Primus.
This episode is powered by Safety FM.
Hey, welcome back to the Safety Consultant Podcast. I'm your host, Sheldon Primus. It's the podcast where I teach you the business of doing safety consulting, talk about safety as a whole, talk about OSHA compliance, global safety, and all kinds of stuff, even business things. As of late, some political stuff that overlaps in safety, so that's some of the things that we're talking about. Today is going to be a little bit like that because, last week I told you guys that we might end up having to justify our jobs a little. So, in justifying our jobs as safety and health professionals, especially during the climate where we think things are going, where OSHA is not going to be as important as it was before, at least what some people are thinking. And so I decided that I'm going to help you guys out and see how you could truly prove your worth as an EH&S, environmental health and safety professional and practitioner, both of us. So honestly, I just want to get right into this because I'm going to break it into 4 different segments. You know, the segments that I had for us was first, why does safety get cut first? And that's honestly one of the first things that we always go whenever you see like businesses are starting to cut back. Then all of a sudden you're like, hold on, safety is the first one cut. Why is that? So we started talking about why does safety cut first. And then the next thing is I'm going to show you guys how to prove your worth. And then going to just give you the vocabulary that you're going to need just to give yourself, at least toot your own horn. How's that? That's the way we could go. Toot your own horn. So we're going to make your role indispensable. That's going to be our episode next week. And then I really want to show value. And I might be able to do this in one episode. If not, I'm going to do our return of investment as the last segment. So I might be able to combine the strategies of how to show your value and to do a return investment in the same episode. But I don't want it to go too long. I want to keep these episodes right about the sweet spot for me, which is like 20 minutes. That's about it. You don't need to hear my squeaky voice for that long. You got enough. So let me tell you, here's the data set that I'm using for today's episode. I pulled up OSHA's white paper on injury illness prevention program. Also did OSHA's 3885 recommendation for basically safety culture. This is a recommendation. I've had an acquaintance of mine, Michelle Martin, who's at the time, she was working with Brown & Brown under the public risk sector. She has a real good presentation that she did for the public sector. Most of my career was in the public sector, so I grabbed some of her information in there to add to this. And then I did a review of the OSHA budget. And the OSHA budget throughout the Trump administration, first time, and then the Biden administration. That's a smaller segment of what I did before, where I actually told you guys the differences between Republican and Democratic. And truly, that was in the beginning of the year. So that series was right around February 5th, episode 298. Actually, 291 started it. So I did a 3-part episode just regarding the difference between a Republican administration and a Democratic administration. So today we're just going to focus on the why, just why, whenever there's some sort of hiccup in business continuity or whatever it is, or tightening of belts, it seems like the HR and safety departments are the first to go. And honestly, if you're looking for a job in safety, you probably are experiencing this pain still. And please, I just want to let you know that I do not wish that on anyone losing their job. Honestly, for me, when I worked in the public sector for the city of Orlando years and years and years ago, there's a time when they had to do right sizing. That's what they called it, right sizing. And man, we as the workers were like, all right, who's getting cut? And first they started out with a buyout. So anybody who was close to retirement, you got the opportunity to get bought out. And then after some people voluntarily left and said, I am not putting up with this, I'm out of here. They got their money and they took off, which they should have done. And then the rest of us that are left, I was very new in my career, just getting started. So I was going to try to stand out and stick out. And I did. And they right-sized, kept me going. I was a safety officer as a secondary task. My primary task was to be a wastewater operator. So that kind of insulated me. The safety department, as I do recall, had some consolidation. So basically they centralized some of the functions, so you wouldn't need a safety officer at each plant per se. But that was the way they worked it during that time. We were right-sized. I also see this because I'm a student. I see this from my students. I'm an instructor with Alliance Safety Council as a contract instructor. I teach the OSHA Training Institute Education Center courses, and then I also teach the Certificate of Occupational Safety Specialist and then Certificate of Occupational Safety Manager. So COS and COSM, those are two designations I'm an instructor for and have been for 11 years. A lot of people think, oh, it's your course. It's not. I actually helped with the redesign. I was the SME behind the redesign and an incredible instructional designer who really helped update the COS program, but it's not my COS. And Keely, I'm talking about you. You're awesome. And I was just, part of the cog in the wheel. Katie and Keely took over and with the Alliance, and they truly did some amazing stuff with the COS program. But, me, myself, it's not my program, even though everybody's like, hey, I want to get set up with your next COS program. It's not mine. So I hear students in these programs, they're coming back and trying to get some initials behind their name so that they could be more marketable. They just lost their job and they're self-funding and all that. So in those cases, this is for you as well. Because honestly, everybody who's in the EHS, and especially if you're in the U.S., but I know globally we're all kind of feeling this kind of businesses kind of consolidating efforts and consolidating what they think is important or not, so that if there's extra impact from tariffs or extra impact from business continuity being disrupted, then they could pretty much hone all the business dollars into critical components. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to show you how to defend your department as being critical, because that's what you are. You're critical. So one of the critical components that you really need to know is, this is coming from the OSHA white paper. And you just go to OSHA.gov and you just type in white paper. You'll be able to download that, or on their safety and health page. They also will have that available for you. But this is from 2012. And for every direct cost, meaning the stuff that insurance is going to pay for, there is a direct cost of an incident. There is a 4.5 times the direct cost of an incident. The numbers go down a little bit more when you get dollar figures attached to it. So when you get, I believe it's 30,000 is for the total cost of the direct cost, of the accident, then the multiplier is going to be 4.5. But there is a multiplier for this. You could go to the OSHA Safety Pays page, and you can see the dollar figures that triggers different multipliers. But the most is for a severe injury, 1.1 is if you can range 1.1 up to 4.5 times direct cost. So 1.1 is at the end of the scale for dollar figures, and at the higher scale, it's reverse. The lower the price, the more it costs in indirect cost. The higher the price, the more it goes to 1.1 as your sliding scale. So go to OSHA.gov, you'll see that. So what that means is, first and foremost, you could start saying that, my position is going to help retain this money. All right, that's one of the things, but we're not up to that part yet. Now we're just trying to just let people know that your employer know that the role of safety is actually a cost center. The money that's going into paying for these injuries and illnesses is coming from your profits. So if they're trying to consolidate things, what they're really trying to do is they're trying to get more profit, right? Or at least stay the same. And you don't want to lower prices that much because it affects your profit margin. But what they don't know is mismanaged safety is also going to affect the profit margin. So you will have to tell them that, but that's why safety gets cut first, is because they don't understand that safety may not exactly be a cost of revenue yet. For some companies it is, or industries, but they don't understand that the profits that the organization gets is directly affected with the incidents that the organizations have. So first, the organizations don't know that. That's why they cut safety. Another thing that they're really trying to, organizations are looking at is regulation. So some organizations, they are just want to be OSHA compliant, and that's it. I don't want to think beyond OSHA. I just want to be OSHA compliant. That's it. So in those cases, if your employer is only thinking about OSHA compliance, and then there's a fallacy that says that Republican administrations don't regulate, that might get in that that employer's mind that, hey, why do I need a safety department if there's going to be no regulation? And I've actually heard safety professionals say that you'll probably never see OSHA in your career. Yeah, that's true in some industries, but not all. You just got to really be careful with that kind of statement. So when you're looking at OSHA and you're trying to figure out what are the things that are going to be regulated, then honestly, you're going to really need to start looking industry-based. But since the fallacy is out there that says we don't have to worry about regulation, so who do we need to cut? The people who are responsible for keeping us in regulatory compliance. Yeah, we're already running good. And those of you that had a really good system, you hadn't had incidences, you never had a violation at any point, then the idea is we don't need them because we haven't had an incident in how many years. So that's proof that we don't need them. And they're not looking at, truly what you've been doing, right? And so that is the other area that you're going to really be thinking about, is that fallacy related to that regulatory compliance is going to go down, and therefore I don't need to do anything. And I'm going to show you guys that is not true historically through the OSHA budget. So the other thing is the employer, they cut safety because they don't understand that there is an actual productivity and morale benefit to safety and health. So when you get that morale boost by having a good safety and health culture, production increases, right? So if you cut the safety department because their mindset is safety is only going to tell us to wear hard hats and safety glasses, and they're going to slow down production, and that's going to equal less money, that fallacy is because they don't understand that the activity of safety will actually help workers feel better about working there, and therefore they're plugged in more. There's hard data on this. You could go to that white paper, you could see it. And the OSHA 3885 document shows it as well, that truly the employers that have been participants in their studies, they found that they have higher quality product and higher output and higher profits when they do manage safety well. So again, people in safety, you'll get cut because they don't know. They really don't know, and you're going to have to toot your own horn. I'm going to give you the vocabulary for it and the data, but just want to tell you first, why are your positions being cut? Those of you in the public sector, Honestly, in the public sector, it's a little bit worse, especially if you don't have a state OSHA plan. So therefore, the only person that you have that's above you is your municipality or your city, your county, your parish, your township. So at that point, you now have to prove to them that those claims in the workers' comp, now that's going to be the big thing for public sector is the workers' comp cost. So the workers' comp costs, Michelle Martin, her publication, she was part of Public Risk Insurance Agency. Her data had that there were loss increased from 3.7 million to 9.5 million over 5 years, while only 47% of costs related to closed claims. So therefore, it's bleeding the money from the public sector in workers' comp claims. So if they want to get rid of the safety department, the thought here and the data shows that claims will go up. When these claims go up, especially if you're self-insured or part of some sort of mutual trust, mutual agency, it is going to affect you guys directly. So therefore, your city now is going to say, oh, well, we can't get that. We can't have this increase because we can't afford it. That kind of stuff. So moving on to the business case of safety, truly another reason that you get cut is because they don't, the administrators and everyone else don't understand the value of being proactive with safety. So you'll have to point that out to them. So I'm right about the time that I want to just to at least give you guys the awareness of the business case of safety. In the next episode, I'm really going to dig into the numbers as to estimated savings, boosting of productivity, the cost of poor reputation. Those are the things that you're really going to have to work on and showing them. Let them know some analytics as well. Corporate culture, I didn't talk about it in any way, but that's part of it as well. So I truly want to at least let you know this is why your job is truly in the chopping block. It's lack of understanding of how important safety is. So now that you're going to start getting in this episode, next episode, and the last episode after that, you're going to get the wording that you're going to need to help you know that, hey, don't cut me. I'm making you money here, and not just production, but I'm making you money here, and I'm going to protect you from losing money and liability and everything else. So that's usually why. And before we go, I don't want to digress too far, but the last thing that why safety officers are one of the first positions to get cut is if you are that safety officer and your mindset is compliance, and you browbeat everybody and you're forcing them to wear their PPE and everything else, you're going to get cut because no one likes you. All right. So your attitude is causing this. And I say that in all due respect. You don't have to bend everyone to your will and not listen to the workforce. The workforce has all your answers, so you really want to listen to them and then react accordingly. So what you're going to end up seeing is people in safety that you're constantly the safety cop, as we all heard. You are in a position to lose your job because no one needs that right now. We've got enough going on in the organization that we don't need someone who's going to constantly browbeat the workers. And that's probably going to affect productivity as well if you're constantly telling the workers what to do and how to be safe without listening to them and then taking real meaningful action. You're probably going to be one of the first to be cut just because of personality conflict. All right. I hate to break it to you. So this is going to be a full cultural change for you as well. And I really want you to understand and everyone to understand our position is just as important as production, as important as quality and everything else. So you guys stick with me. This is only last week was the introduction. This is episode 1 of the actual topic. Next week, I'm going to show you some data and really get you to start thinking of what is the business case of safety, so that you can start protecting your positions. All right. So hang in there. I'm going to do my best to help you guys prove your worth. You could do it. Go get them.
That's a wrap for today's safety show. Remember, safety isn't just about hard hats and caution signs. It's about business smarts too. Thanks for joining us on the Safety Consultant Show with Sheldon Primus. Until next time, stay safe, stay savvy, and keep consulting like a boss. Go get 'em. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast or broadcast are those of the host and its guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within the past hour, only examples. It should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the positions of the company. No part of this podcast or broadcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic recording, or otherwise without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast or broadcast, Sheldon Primus.
This episode has been powered by Safety FM.
Are you ready to make a difference? Introducing the Safety Consultant Blueprint course. Unlock your potential as a safety consultant. Learn the skills, strategies, and ethics to create safer workplaces for your very own client. From risk assessment to client acquisition, we've got you covered. Become a safety consultant and open doors to being your own boss. Join us and be the hero of workplace safety. Enroll today. Safety starts with you. Take the first step now. Visit our website and enroll in the Safety Consultant Blueprint course. Empower businesses. Protect lives. SafetyConsultantBlueprint.com.